online, online participants. Thank you for having with us. Thanks you for joining with us. For this first session, I would like to invite my friends both online and offline to ask questions. But first, I would like to invite those who are joining here in Jakarta at Masjid Istiqlal, to share or maybe to come up with the question or reflection from what you already listened to the two first speakers, Professor Mun'im Siri and Professor Ulil Amri from the United States of America. Yeah, floor is yours. Just raise your hand and please come forward for your question. Any question you might ask in English or Arabic or in Bahasa. I believe Prof. Mun'im and Prof. Ulil Amri also experience and also speak Bahasa and speak English as well as the Arabic. Because we are with the Kader of Ulama, Professor Mun'im. Wow, they must be speaking Arabic as well. Any question?
Fadal.
Okay, Fadal. Fadal, Ustaz. Yeah, just stand up and come forward. Please.
Okay, bismillah. Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Okay, the question is maybe for, okay, my name is Amirullah from PKU Master Program. Okay. The question is for Professor Ulil Amri regarding the topic eco-friendly masjid. Yeah, but I'm not quite sure if the question is related to the topic or not, but let me try. Okay, related to the eco-friendly masjid. Okay, this is related to what happened in Indonesia, especially. Most of our masjid in Indonesia, and I think not really eco-friendly masjid. Why? Especially, I need your insight, Professor. How do you think about masjid in Indonesia, which is not eco-friendly masjid, regarding voice pollution? Regarding the voice pollution, how they use the microphone or toa. That is really maybe some people or somebody feeling not friendly in my point of view. And then the second case, the masjid that is asking for donation or collecting the donation roadside. I think it is really annoying as well. Yeah. Okay, that's all the question, and thank you very much for.
Thank you for the question.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Prof. Ulil Amri, before I move, you mentioned that Istiqlal should be the leader. Just now in the webinar, in the conference, we also do that. We just turn off the light for several minutes. That's also for the example how we also do the suggestion from you. So the next question. Okay, one more question here. Okay. After that, we move to our friends who join online, and then just tell us what's your name and also tell us your question. Please, floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Fahdiana. I'm from University of Indonesia. I would like all the panelists here, in regards that humankind is the most adaptable creature in our earth. So they have many mechanism to survive in the climate change, I think. And in many sunnah or hadith, there is also some text that say in the end of the days, near the Qiyamah, all the believers can only eat and drink from zikr, because we will face many crises in food industry maybe, or in ketahanan pangan.
Recording in progress.
What do you think about this? How the Muslim can cope with the ecological crisis in a more spiritual point of view? Maybe that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, my friends. Dear professor, we already received the more than two questions from two people here from Jakarta. Let me start asking Prof. Ulil Amri and then to Prof. Mun Imsiri, because the second question is much related to Prof. Mun Imsiri as well, according how to cope with the ecological crisis from the spiritual perspective and point of view. So let me start to invite Professor Ulil Amri again. Please, Professor, what's your thought to respond to the first question?
Yeah, wonderful questions. Thank you so much. It's it is indeed a problem, a pollution. We call it audio pollution or sound pollution or sonic pollution. And it depends if you have to download an application that could measure how much the decibel of the sound of the masjid. If it is above 90 decibels, it is considered as loud and annoying. But if it is less than 90, I think it is still, it can be tolerated. But it depends on the community around the masjid. If the community accepts, the noisy because it is already part of their daily life. Because some of us, when we listen to adhan or some announcements from masjid, we feel like it is just like a music. It's so melodious. So we have no problem with that. But some of our neighbors, maybe they have a different kind of faith. The way they hear or perceive this sound may be a little bit annoying for them. So let's have discussion. So it is a responsibility of the takmir of the masjid or the masjid, like staff or members or something like that. So yeah, I think the best one to solve this sonic pollution is through dialogue. Who are the people who who are complaining about this? So the takmir of the masjid should reach out to them and have dialogue, have conversation, do ngopi-ngopi, and inshallah it will be solved quickly. All right, I'm so optimistic about that because it's part of like our cultural value, solving problems through dialogue, right? Okay, the second part of the question is about asking money on the street. It creates like a bad image for a masjid. Oh, this masjid is so poor. They're asking for money like every day on the street. And this also annoys and hampers like the mobility of the vehicles around the masjid. To some extent create like traffic congestion, so on and so forth. Not only asking money or donation, but also in some, occasions, some pengajians are also conducted on the street as well. I do not have like quick solution or short-term solution for this one, but I feel like our masjid should be economically independent, meaning that our masjid should generate in its own income. I am myself, not me actually, my dad was the head of Takmir Masjid in Southeast Sulawesi in Kendari. We established a sort of like a store or mini market, something like Alpha Mart or Alpha or Indomaret, but it's very small scale. So we sell things, we sell food, we sell drinks, and daily like stuffs that people are needing them. So the revenue or the income from these mini market are used to finance the mosque. So the name of the mosque is Al Muhajirin in Kendari. So this masjid, it is quite financially autonomous right now. Lots of people give donation, and I believe you are familiar with other many beautiful, wonderful, and very strong masjid as well, like Jogokarian in Yogyakarta. They do not need to go to the street to ask for donation because they have been strongly, autonomously, financially independent. And I think this kind of like masjid should be trendsetters as well. So other masjid, it depends on the management, how to manage the financial resources. Might need to do like comparative study to this kind of successful masjid, if you will, and don't be ashamed to reach out to this sort of masjid, okay? Because more cooperation among masjid will be helpful for our ummah, inshallah. Okay. For the second question, how to Muslim deal with ecological crisis, I believe Professor Munim Siri have more knowledge about this, but let me give my 2 cents, if you will. I will say that there are so many resources that we can use as well. Our Quran is wonderful. Our hadith, many hadith that Prophet Muhammad have taught us about, taking care of the environment, and our ulama as well. Kiai Haji Ali Yafi has had written Fiqh al-Bi'ah before, and Muhammadiyah, lots of books have been published about eco theology and things like that, and LPBI NU, Lembaga Penanggulangan Bencana dan Iklim in Nahdlatul Ulama have published numerous books, articles, guidelines for protecting our nature, how to mitigate disasters, natural disaster, maybe to some extent technological disasters as well. So all of these are wonderful resources. We just need to read those kind of things. But the problem for us Indonesians is we are too lazy to document all of these resources. There's a problem. Yep, resources are there. We need to document them and then categorize them, code them, so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Now I move to Professor Munim Siri for your thought and also response for the questions. Floor is yours.
Sure. Just to follow up on Professor Ulil Amri's point, which I agree totally concerning that that humanity should share the well-being with all creatures. So on the one hand, we have this impression that everything is for human being, right? وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمْ in the Quran, that as if everything is designed for humanity and we don't have to care about other creatures. So as I tried to mention in my presentation is that not only that human beings share the world with other creatures, but also if we look at the Quranic wisdom on this very issue, I don't think that the Quran, well, there is still ongoing debate among scholars. I know that you may think whether human being is the sole owner of the world, or that human beings share the world with other beings, including the angel, for instance. So if you follow the debate among scholars in the past, in the medieval time, who are the most like responsible being on the earth? Are they human beings or angels? Some people argue that the angels are more honorable than human beings. Other people think no, human beings are more honorable than angels. So these are certainly something that scholars still debated. But there is no question, if you look at the text of the Quran itself, that even if the world, the whole world are designed for humanity, human beings are still have to take care of the well-being of the creatures. So to respond to the question concerning how to deal with, how to cope with ecological issues, I think we have to share responsibility that this world, this world is designed for the well-being of human, but also we have to share with other creatures of the divine. I think that's very important point to emphasize, that this world is not only designed for humanity, but also it is designed for the whole creatures of the divine. So we share the world with animals, with plants, and therefore we should not exploit, the creatures for solely the benefit of human being. We have to be environmentally responsible for the well-beings of all creatures, not only the human creature, but the well-being of all creatures. If you look at the text of the Quran itself, we find there are several passages in the Quran that seem to suggest that there is no, well, I understand that human being is ahsanu taqwim. It is mentioned in the Quran that it is the best creature, the best form. But at the same time, it is human responsibility to share the world with other beings. So there is no doubt that all creatures are created for the benefit of human being, but we have to take care of the creatures. So if we have this kind of responsibility in ourselves, we can develop more kind of caring toward the creatures that God create for us. So to respond to the question, how to cope with ecological issues, I think the question of caring is very important. That we have to take care of the creatures of the divine. So as one of the medieval Sufi masters, Ibn Arabi, argue that actually there is nothing being except the only being. So human beings, animals, and trees are not really being other than God, Him or itself. So if we have this idea that we are equals as a creatures of the divine, we can develop more environmentally friendly with the creatures of the Creator. So I think it is very important to put ourselves on the same equal level with other creations. Yes, it is stated in the Quran that God created the earth for the benefit of human being. But at the same time, the Quran also urges us to take care of the creations, right? So we have double movement in the sense that, that the earth, the world is created for the well-being of humanity. But at the same time, it is human responsibility that people have to take care of the creation of the divine, because nothing exists except the divine itself, according to Ibn Arabi, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I mean, it's really important questions, how to cope with, ecological issues, how to be friendly with the problems surrounding us. So if we think that this is our responsibility to take care of all creators, and if we have this sense of responsibility, that we share this world not only with other human beings but also with animals, with other creatures, I think we can develop a sense of caring. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor. Once again, give applause to 2 speakers. It's also important to remind that the importance of the take care of our earth, and also mentioned by our professor at the beginning, hifzul bi'ah, as part of the Maqasid Sharia that we can further think and further delve into to understand more about the importance of environmental issues, preservation in this life. Okay, my friends, because of the time is also moving, I think I would like to thank you very much once again to the two speakers from the United States of America, Professor Munim Siri, as well as Professor Ulil Amri for your presentation, also for the discussion. Yeah, after this, we are moving to the next Q&A, the second panel session, especially those who are presenting in Indonesia and Malaysia. We have first Professor Andi Faisal Bakti. I'm sure that I just received the update from the organizer that you are going to present online. Professor Andi, are you there on the Zoom? Assalamualaikum, Professor. Just want to make sure. Yeah, because he is now in the health. Okay, Alhamdulillah, Professor. Yeah. Yeah, Professor Andi Faisal Bakti will be delivering our next presentation. Floor is yours, Professor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hamdan wa syukran lillah wa salamun ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawalah. Okay, I would like to share my screen. Hopefully you can follow well. The topic is religion, science, and ecology, which is basically a continuation, or let's say additional to Professor Munim Siri and Ulil Amri presentation. Here I have like 20 minutes to present, and I've got like 30 slides. Okay, I'm from Center for Information and Development Studies in Intellectual Associations Indonesia, and I'm also from State Islamic University, lecturer in the Faculty of Dawah and Communication. And here is my outline of my presentation. Is number one, I would like to introduce about the reality and ideality of the problems, and then problem of formulating and of maslahah al-mursalah, theory, and of course the theory of active reception model. And then the next one is the analysis and discussion, interpretation of environmental versus based on maslahah, which is principles of environmental preservation and principles of environmental conservation. And then at the end, I would like to conclude. Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen that some bad realities that we call problems. Number one, because Islam is basically the largest religion in the world, but still not the actors of development. We are still consuming or consumers of development. Second, ecological issues have become a global concern due to climate change and environmental degradation in recent decades. There are still many cases of environmental destruction and waste of natural resources in Muslim majority countries. Most societies around the world face a variety of ecological challenges, including pollution, environmental degradation, and climate change caused by urbanization, population growth, and economic development. I have seen also that there are humans as God's mandate on earth, entrusted with the care of prosperity of the earth, appear to be precisely humans the main actor in destroying the earth. According to the data from the United Nations, around 26 million hectares of forest in the world are lost every year, and around 1 million species of animals and plants are threatened with extinction in the next few decades if human life patterns do not change. However, I have some hope that in Islam teaches that humans are God's vicegerents on earth, Khalifatul fil ard, Khalifatullah fil ard, according to Imam Istiqlal, who are responsible for caring for and protecting the universe. Caring for nature is part of worship and action that damage the environment are considered a violation of this mandate. So if you destroy, you are now basically worshiping God. Islam has environmental principles that encourage nature protection and sustainability. Islam also encourages actions such as water conservation, reforestation, and protection of all living things. Tazkir that Imam Istiqlal also mentioned, which is controlling and managing the world, according to Islam. Sakhar lakum ma bis samawati wal ard. And also, this is again desacralization of universe. This universe should be controlled, not to make it sacral. Yeah. On the whole, human beings is the subject of preservation, conservation, sustainability, which is called active reception model in communication studies. I emphasize that this model, this presentation is using a communication approach instead of Ulil Amri professor using anthropological and also for more Munim, mostly theological. Brothers and sisters, I would like to share with you some environmental damage that we experience today. Number one is global warming and climate change. According to the World Meteorological Organization, average global temperature continue to rise, and recent years have been the hottest in recorded history, particularly this year, and I believe also next year, even the highest, the hottest, across the world, including in Indonesia. Data from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change shows that climate change is resulting in an increase in extreme weather events such as storms, floods, and droughts, including liquefaction and including tsunami. Biodiversity loss, another thing, is data from the United Nations shows that the current rate of species extinction is about 1,000 to 10,000 times higher than nature rates. Indonesia has one of the richest marine ecosystem in the world. However, coral reefs, mangroves, and other marine species are threatened by overfishing, pollution, and habitat destruction. In addition to that, data from Coral Triangle Center shows that coral reefs in Indonesia are under the great pressure due to climate change, pollution, and human activities. About river and ocean pollution, more than 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean every year. This plastic pollutes the marine environment, harms marine biota, and affects the food chains. Indonesia also has a serious problem with plastic waste polluting the sea, affecting marine ecosystem and marine biota. Various rivers in Indonesia experience water pollution due to industrial and domestic waste, and also damaged clean water crisis. According to UNICEF, 2.2 billion people worldwide do not have access to clean, safe water, while 4.2 billion people lack safe sanitation. Based on data from the Indonesia Center Statistic Agency, BPS, at least 166,415 people are experiencing a clean water crisis in 2023. And also, very bad in forest damage and deforestation. Forests around the world continue to be lost rapidly. According to Global Forest Watch, worldwide deforestation will reach 11.9 million hectares by 2022. As tropical forests continue to decrease due to illegal logging, oil palm plantation, and agriculture. Data also from the Ministry of Environment states that Indonesia is facing forest and peatland fires, which are causing smoke, haze that is endangering health and environment. Next one is ecological damage. Yeah. In conclusion, yeah. Deforestation, decrease in forest area, tree death, and in terms of ocean damage, increased sea temperature, seawater pollution, decline in the quality of coral reefs. In terms of air damage, increased air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and decreased air quality. So you see how dangerous it is if you don't take care of the environment. Yeah. Formulation of the problem. Yeah. What is the Quran in view of the operational technicalities of exploiting the Earth's potential? Okay. The aim is to elaborate in depth on the ecological messages of the Quran related to the environmental law in the context of environmental conservation, restoration, and sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Maslahah theory, Maqasid Ash-Sharia, which is mentioned over and over again by 3-4 speakers before me. Yeah. This quite long time ago, but still very, very suitable now. The main aim of legislators is to realize the benefit of creatures. Therefore, every doctrine and value that is revealed, whether in the form of commands or prohibition, is always oriented towards human benefit. This problem will be realized in 3 needs. Yeah, so the second one is, I would like to propose active reception model in communication that emphasizes the importance of receiver, which is human beings, message from God and from religion, and of course the intention and the action of human beings, as opposed to always emphasizing the sender, the media, and the impact, which is mostly used by many experts and practitioners in communication. So this model actually reject the previous model in communication. Yeah. Okay, brothers and sisters, there are three elements here, three needs. Number one is daruriyah, yeah, which is basic needs that must exist or are called primary needs. Number one is maintaining religion or hifz ad-din. So religion is very important to maintain. Number two, hifzul nafs, yeah, nurturing the soul, yeah, preserving and conserving the nature, yeah, the soul, yeah, the nafs, maintaining the intellect, yeah, which is hifzul akal, yeah. This is very important to develop intellectuality of human beings and the mental aspect of human beings. Number four is maintaining the honor, his an-nasab, yeah, or an-nasab, sometimes we call it like that, which is very important our generation. Number five is his al-mal, maintaining the assets, the property. But this also include environment, which is over again mentioned, which is about his al-bi'ah. So some people say al-daruriyat as-sittah or al-darurat al-khamsah, but the fifth one that includes asset or property and also environment or ecology. Number two, hajiyah needs, which is secondary needs, which if not realized will not threaten their safety but will experience difficulties. Yeah, you can also say makruh. And the last one is the need for tahsiniyah, yeah, for decoration, yeah, which is something related to, if not met, yeah, this does not threaten the existence of any the 6 point above and do not cause difficulties. Okay, the next one, level of maslahah related to environmental maintenance can be included in the category of maslahah ad-daruriyah as-sittah as the sixth need, because its existence is a component part to support the life of creatures. Here we go into the analysis. Yeah. Principle of environmental care. Submission of nature as fulfillment of human needs on earth. Number two, humans are creatures ordered to prosper the earth. So this is in addition to Prof. Ulil Amri and Prof. Unim Siri mentioned earlier, including Imam Istiqlal. Okay, submission of nature as a fulfillment of human needs on earth. Brothers and sisters, God has subjugated various creations with their various variations to meet the needs of all living creatures, especially humans, as God mandate on earth. On this basis, humans should serve God and thank Him by utilizing all natural potential properly and correctly. As God says, Alam tara anna Allah sakhara lakum ma fil ardi wal fulk tajri fil bahri bi amrihi wa yusrifu sama an taqa'ala al ard illa bi izni inna Allah binasi la raufur rahim. Do you not see the Allah, that Allah has subjugated to you everything on earth, and the ships that sail on the seas by His command, and he prevents things from the heavens from falling to the earth, but with his permission. Indeed, Allah is truly most gracious and most merciful to human. This is we can see that.
Sorry for interrupting,
Yeah.
Prof. It is 2 minutes
Yeah.
left, Prof.
Okay, 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Sorry
Okay,
for
this is
interrupting.
emphasizing the importance of environment, both on Earth and also in the sky. Okay, next, principle of environmental care. Yeah, these messages, these verses has been already quoted several times before, so I don't have to repeat again here. Okay, but what I would like to emphasize is the active reception model. Yeah, the emphasizing the role of human beings, because human beings are given the right and the authority by God to utilize natural resources and the environment with ecologically reasonable limits. They are users, utilizers, intentionally, actively, and effectively. Secondly, humans are not the true owners of the environment. The true owners of the environment is basically Allah, but they are managers. Human beings are managers intentionally, actively, and effectively. And the last one, to prove that human beings are really the actors, that human ownership is only a trust, deposit, or a loan which must in time be returned to its owner. So human beings, basically directors, intentionally, actively, and effectively. Okay, these the three things are here very important. Yeah, number one is alma, which is water. Number two is pasture, and number three is fire. So this is actually for public need, not privatizing these things as many times now we notice in Indonesia. That these are basically owned or managed by foreigners, not managed by people of Indonesia for the sake of Indonesia, like in the Act 33 of Indonesian National Constitution. Yeah. Okay, these are important to contextualize as a human beings, as actors of all this. And of course, I have some recommendation that privatization project that has been carried out by the government on public assets to private parties must be reviewed because it has the following impacts: poverty, welfare, increasingly worrying, and energy crisis, full, problem of full, and also recognizing the boundaries of natural law. And the government should have the tools and means, one of which is by establishing agencies that explore and produce vital goods that are livelihood of many people for the common. Here, the verses of the Quran are very important, and also number one is explore the earth potential. Number two is plant trees and do reforestation. And it is important to emphasize this tasjir and tahdir. Forestry and reforestation should be encouraged in Indonesia. The existence of forests is very useful for hydrological and climatological balance. Okay, a lot of verses we can hear, and then let's come to the conclusion. Yeah, that the Quran outlines basic values and substantive practical laws in environmental management, including the principles of underlying the utilization of the earth potential and principles of its maintenance. Utilizing the potential of the earth, the Quran instructs humans to carry out imaratal art, namely making the earth or the environment a medium of realizing the benefit of life as a whole on earth, so that in utilizing it, humans must always pay attention to respect natural balance. And the last one is the principle of caring for the earth. The Quran emphasizes the importance of human to treating the environmental well without causing damage. And thank you very much, and Roy, for the additional time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Andi Faisal Bakti, for the very enlightening presentation. I highlight some or several takeaways, among others, on the review or the importance on the review of the regulation on privatization, on the environmental regulation here in Indonesia, especially. But also, as Muslims, we need to reflect on the implementation of plant trees and reforestations happen in Indonesia. Okay, my friends, based on the timing, on the schedule that is presented by the organizers, we should finish first the whole presentation today. There will be around 3 more presenters now, 4 more presentation now. So I will do my best to make sure that everything will be running well, and based on the timeline, 15-minute presentation from the speakers, and then at the end, we move to the istirahat, isoma, for the break, for Zuhur prayer and lunch, and then move to the panel session at the afternoon. Okay, my friends, without further ado, I would like to invite the next presenter. She is the Associate Professor Dr. Nur Arfia Febriani, the lecturer of PTIQ Jakarta of the postgraduate programs. Floor is yours.
Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in ala umuri dunya waddin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, amma ba'du. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Okay. Yeah, thanks God. My name is Nur Arfia Febriani. As mentioned, I am a lecturer in PTIQ University, and I'm an activist in Karawang, Jakarta, Bekasi, Banten in environmental conservation. Before I continue my presentation, is the slide ready? Okay. Maybe I will present my paper with standing. Yeah. Before I present my presentation, do you ever heard about the eco-gender before? Okay, it is your first time to speak, to learn about eco-gender. Inshallah, we will learn together about what is eco-gender in Quranic perspective, and I hope my presentation interesting and will be useful for environmental conservation action. Yeah. Okay, my friend. My title is Quranic Eco-Gender, Maintaining the Balance of the Right of Nature and Human in the Quran. Next slide. Or over here. My friends, we are in a global warming era. We feel so hotter each day. Do you feel that? Yeah. And the causal factor of the global warming is very, very impressive. Yeah. One of the most interesting view to read how the environmental degradation happen is the view of ecofeminists. Mana slide-nya? Where's the slide? I need the slide. Okay. Okay. Novel Amar Carolyn Mersenne and Robin Iskerly, they said the causal factor of environmental damage is because the domineering attitude men towards women, because both earth and woman have the same character, namely receptive, submissive, receptive. I would like to ask the gentleman, what do you imagine about the woman character? soft, beautiful, annoying. Ya, baperan ya. Kalau anak sekarang bilang annoying, baperan. What more? Tricky. Okay. What more? Okay, expressive. And the young lady, I would like to ask you, what do you imagine about the main character? Strong? Handsome, temperamental, and so on. That is the stereotype gender. We call that stereotype gender. That's why ecofeminists said that the environmental image is relating to the stereotype for men, because men is described exploitative, arrogant, ambitious, and so on. But interestingly, the view of the ecofeminists is not fully justified, because the environmental demands because human lifestyle. So all of us involved for the environmental damage. And the most interestingly, in the Quran that's mentioned before, in Surah Ar-Rum 41, we can say, Zohar al-fasadu fil bari wal bah bima kasabat aidinas. It's not mentioned with bima kasabat aidi rijal or aidi nisa. But Al-Quran mentioned with bima kasabat aidinas. And nas is human who have mature socially. And the editorial is mentioned for human is in general for men and women. And in my dissertation, I didn't find about the stereotype gender for men and women. So I didn't agree with the ecofeminist views. Okay, next slide. And this is the data about the global warming causal factor by Interpanel on climate change data. This is the human lifestyle. There are transportation, building, power, industry, and another energy related that cause energy emission, and land use, agriculture, and waste is cause non-energy emission. Next. Now about the theoretical studies on human character. Like I said before, I didn't found about the stereotype character for men and women. So in the Quran, in Surah As-Sams, ayah 7 and 8, wa nafsi wa masawaha fa'alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha. So that we can understand that in humans, they have feminine and masculine character, and the masculine and feminine character have positive and negative side, fujur and taqwa. But ironically, anger and lips still categorize the feminine character only for women and masculine character only for men. Now that's why the stereotype for women and men, I try to describe what is the stereotype gender. Is there stereotype gender? Okay, we will try to find out. Okay, next. Okay, now about the eco-gender definition. Eco-gender, we start to the definition of ecology first. Ecology, according to Ernst Haeckel, is the science that studies the relationship between one organism to another and between this organism and their environment. And the gender, according to Women's Studies Encyclopedia, is interpreted in the meaning a cultural concept that seeks to make distinction in terms of roles, behavior, mentality, and emotional characteristics between men and women that develop in society. So sex is biologically and gender is social construction. Okay, next. Okay, next. Now, what the meaning of the eco-gender? According to Jamal Kaunda, ecogender is a social scientific research on the gender and relational quality of embodied environmental experience. And ecogender is a way of thinking about gender and the environment. Next. Now, to get the concept of ecogender, we need 3 terms in the Quran to find. Yeah. The first is the word of Zawj in the Quran. It's mean pairing for all God's creatures. And the second is feminine and masculine character related to the environment preservation, and the third is the Quranic eco-gender concept itself. Okay, next. Okay, zauj or pairing or keberpasangan. In the Al-Quran Surah Az-Zariyat, we can read, وَمِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Now, the word of zauj, according to Al-Asfahani, it's mean pairs, yeah. Both male and female animals and humans, and also used to design the two pairs. And it's also to describe about the pairing could be similarities and could also be due to the opposite. Yeah. And in the science, we can see that the electricity is in pairs. Yeah. There's positive and negative. And the atoms, which is where we are thought that they are the bismals and invisible, but in the fact they are in pairs. Atom consists electron and proton. So all in the universe is have their pairings. Only Allah, that only one. Okay. Next. That's just what I said. That in every our body, we have. Al-fujuriyah wa taqwaiyah, the character positive and character negative. Now, according to Hamka, the word of fujur wa taqwa, it's bad and good human personality and character. So the stereotype for women and men is because this negative side of the character. But it's not only for men or only for women, because Al-Quran describes it in general form. So we can understand that the character is all of us, for all of us, so we can choose what the characteristic that we choose to describe ourselves. Yeah. Okay, next. Now, this is the finding. All of us consists about the ruh or spirit, heart or intuition, brain or logic, and body and skills. And feminine character or Jamalia is the beautiness character. This is have the positive and negative side, my friend. The positive side is the character that obey to the higher or ruh dimensi rohaniyah kita ya. And the example, the character is or submissive, empathic, soft, patient. Hugging, caring. Caring is one of the character or feminine positive, and the feminine negative is the character that yielding in the lower lust, menyerah pada yang lebih rendah atau hawa nafsu ya, such as subjective, annoying, submissive, pasrah, dia menyerah, yang artinya itu membuat kita merasa kasihan. Kita kalau suka kasihan sama orang, that is a type of the character, feminine character. Yeah. Nah, kalau if the masculine character or Jalalia is the character regarding the majestic character, karakter keagungan. Jalalia is the keagungan ya, karakter keagungan. And this character to have two side, positive and negative character too. For positive character, performing the life, the function of wisely, karakter yang bijaksana, like aktif, progresif, mendunia, apalagi. Kalau berlomba-lomba itu apa? Ya, pokoknya artinya aktif ya. Kalau karakter maskulin itu dia aktif ya, aktif dan progresif. Kalau negatif karakter, dominatif dan menuhankan diri. Jadi orang yang merasa selalu paling benar, paling pintar, paling cantik, paling keren, paling kaya, yang paling, that is the masculine character with the negative side. So if you find that someone who feels like he is the most in the world, that person is have masculine character in the negative side ya teman-teman. So we can choose ya to be a personal that have balancing of feminine and masculine character in positive side. That is the sifat Jamaliyah. Okay, next. Okay, next. That is just the example for the character. Now, what is the Quran eco-gender? In my dissertation, I said that the eco-gender in the Quran, which is read through the link between ecology and various other branches of knowledge, religious, science, rational science, and practical science, is described in the meaning interconnection and harmonious interaction between human and themselves, habal ma nafsi, humans and fellow humans, habal ma ikhwani, humans and nature, habal ma abiyati, and humans and God, habal ma khaliki. So, eco-gender carries the eco-humanist theocentric. This is the theory that I have been made in my dissertation. So if you're looking for in Google, if you take eco-gender, eco-humanist theocentric theory, this is mine. And I would like to mengajak teman-teman juga untuk membuat teori ya dalam tesis atau disertasi nanti. Supaya nanti kalau diketik di Google sebuah teori akan muncul nama kita, gitu ya. Oke, jadi di sini, oke, next, bikinlah teori supaya kita dikenal karena teori kita. Nah, eco-gender lesson from nature. Nah ini dia, kita harus belajar dari alam ya teman-teman tentang eco-gender. Dalam surah Yasin, wal qamara qaddarnahu manazil hatta 'ada kal urjunil qadim la syamsu yanbaghi laha an tudrikal qamara wal laili sabiqun nahar. Nah, we can see in these verses that the pronoun of qamar is who. Who is for male. And the pronoun of shams is mu'annas. We mentioned it mu'annas majazi and mudzakkar majazi. In my class Qaidah Tafsir we have learned about this ya, mu'annas majazi and mudzakkar majazi. Nah, what interesting from these verses, my friends, if we see in Surah Yunus, huwa alladhi ja'ala syamsa diya'an wal qamara nura. This is the secret ya. Allah yang menjadikan matahari itu bersinar, shining, dan bulan itu adalah bercahaya. Karena apa teman-teman? Ternyata bulan bisa bercahaya di malam hari itu karena sinar matahari. Nah, makanya di sini kita buat redaksinya. It is not a matter of pride for the sun that he gives his sign so that the moon can glow in the night, and it is not a shame for the moon because she needs sunlight to show her existence in the night. Jadi kalau bulan sama matahari akur, kok perempuan sama laki-laki nggak bisa akur gitu ya, kira-kira. Jangan kalah sama bulan sama matahari ya teman-teman ya. Okay, men and women can learn from the sun and the moon to be cooperative and complementary in carrying out the function of the caliphate. In the Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah says, "Wa qala rabbuka lil malaikati inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifah." Nah, khalifah it is different with the imam, it is different with qawam. What do you know about the qawam meaning? Do you know that? What is different between qawam and imam? Anyone else? What the difference between qawam, imam, and khalifah? Okay, imam is a leader. We said Prof. Nasar is high leader of Masjid Istiqlal. Imam. There's imam, there's makmum. Yeah. But qawam is protector. Yeah. Guidance. But khalifah is more than that. Khalifah is successive authority or God representative to maintain the world. It is the highest position for human that given by God. Welcome, Bala. Okay, next. Okay, according Prof. Ahmad Tibraya, caliphs on earth serve as protector and prosperity, and Khalifah is given to power to manage a region on earth. Okay, next. Now we should to understanding the nature. Nature as a mean for humans to recognize God's power in creating. Nature as a source of life. Nature as a source of knowledge. Nature as human partner in carrying out the duties of the caliphate. So without nature, will be not able to be Khalifah. So we have to conserve the nature because nature is our partner to be sound like a Khalifah. And the universe belongs to Allah. Jadi nggak tepat kalau kita bilang kita akan mewarisi bumi ke anak cucu kita. Karena kalau mewarisi berarti kita yang memiliki. Tapi bumi ini adalah milik Allah. 5 minute rewind. Oke. Kebiasaan ngajar di kelas nih. Oke. Next. Oke. What is the right of nature? It's still debate ya teman-teman ya. Karena menurut Paul Taylor, nature does not have moral rights ya. So nature does not have right. Paul distinguishes between legal right and moral right. Legal right are right that are granted, recognized, and ratified by state law, while moral right are rights that belong to certain parties and are recognized as legitimate based on moral principle. Okay, next. Is in the Quran and Hadith there is a right for nature. We can see in the Surah Al-Nahl ya. Khalaqas samawati wal ard bil haqq ta'ala amma yushrikun. Even to the term of haq, this paragraph is explained that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the object in the heavens and the object on the earth correctly. The meaning is according with his wisdom and nothing in vain. He create everything without anyone help. He simply creates object and laws that apply to him so that the object function according to his laws. According to Tafsir Kemenak. What we can understand from the tafsir, my friends, Allah created the sky and the earth with haq, ya benar, right. And it can be understood that the haq in this verse also includes the haq about fulfilling the rights of nature so that its beauty remains as it was when it was created rightly. This is a human duty to the caliph of Allah or God representative on earth. Yeah. Okay, next. In the hadith, it's more interesting. Rasulullah said explicitly about the haq for the nature. Ma min insanin qatala usfuran fama fawqaha bi ghairi haqqiha illa sa'alallah azza wa jal anha qila ya Rasulullah wa ma haqquha. So Rasulullah mentioned the word of haq is extremely explicitly. Okay, the hadith explicitly the word of right for animal, and the general definition can be also applied to another resource, natural resource, and the moral right. It's mean the moral rights. Rasulullah give the hadith, and it is based on our moral right to give the right for nature. From the hadith. The moral right of nature can clearly be understood from the words of the Prophet above. This can be a reference for policymaker to make a policy right, like Paul Taylor said before. The right of nature is the basic right for nature related to protection and preservation. Okay, next. There is a correspondence between human right and nature right in the Quran. In the United Nations Universal Declaration, there is 40 points of the human rights, and I just put it 10 rights for human that have correspondences with the natural right. We know the human have the right to equality and freedom from discrimination, and the nature have the right to be respected. The right to live independence and personally security for human, and for nature, the right to a harmonious relationship with fellow creatures. The right to freedom from persecution and abusive treatment, the right to be treated fairly by human beings. Equal rights before the law, and the equitable justice, and the right to equal treatment as fellow creators. I just want to read the last. The right to marry and live with one family, the right to live in pairs. So it is the right of nature for human and nature. Okay, next. Okay, it is my conclusion. Stereotypes stereotypes against men and women based on character specification are not found in the Quran, which is the being award for potential. So the character can be described their own personality if we choose the best thing. And the concept of zawj in the Quran show the function of each of God creators that are mutually cooperative and complementary to show the existence of each other. And Quranic ecofeminism can be understood in the term of interconnection and harmonious interaction between human and themselves, human and fellow being, and human and nature, and human and God, habal ma'a kholiki. Okay, next, the last. And in Quran and Hadith, we can see the right of nature are implicitly found in the Quran, and as well as the 10th point of natural right are mentioned as before. And the moral rights for nature are found explicitly in the Hadith of the Prophet regarding the rights of animals to be able to live according to the function and purpose of their creation. And natural rights can also be understood as the fundamental rights for a species to live, be protected for the sustainable of its species existence. And understanding and applying ecogender is one of effort to understand and apply human rights in the right of nature itself. Okay, thank you for listening. Okay.
Thank you very much once again to our speaker, to Professor Dr. Arnur Arfiani Febriani, for very, very engaging and also insightful presentation. It reminds us to the importance of the interconnection and harmonious correlation between men and women, no differentiation. Men and women should hand in hand to support the future of our nature. That's why women and men should be in hand. No differentiation, no difficult, oh, this only for men, or this only for women, but we are all together. Okay, my friends, I would like to let you know, because of we still have 3 more speakers, and for your information, Tuan Guru Bajdang can join with us, and Ibu Mia. So I think I will move to the next speakers that will be presented by the director of Sadra International Institute. He is also the lecturer of postgraduate PTIQ Jakarta, right? Yeah. Dr. Abdul Aziz Abasi, floor is yours.
Where should I begin? From anywhere. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So I will directly start my presentation. The issue has been mentioned by the lecturers before me, and it doesn't take more time. I will not mention the problem. So I will talk about a mystical or Sufi perspective, a mystical perspective on the environment, and the solution that we suggest is to reconnect with nature. So there is a suggestion that we are disconnected. We are seeing nature as a partner, as it is mentioned before me. I will suggest that we are one with nature. So we are not partners, we are not a dual existent, but we are making one thing, and I will discuss it in the next slides. Please, next slide. Yeah, so this is the introduction. Next. Yeah. First, I will talk about the impact of worldview on human relations. This is the main issue. How do we act? How do we connect with others? How do we interact with others? It is according to our beliefs, to our worldview. So according to the worldview that we have built through our knowledge, and we build a worldview, and then based on that worldview we have beliefs, and then we have actions based on those beliefs, concepts, beliefs, and then we act according to that. So if we want to dig deeper in the issues that we are facing in the world, especially the disasters related to ecology, we will find the root in the world view. So that's because it will dictate, it will also decide how do we behave, how do we see the world, and then how do we behave with the world. So what is the solution? The solution is that to rebuild a new worldview, to rebuild mindsets, and to see the world differently. And if we can come to that point that the word is such and such, because it is especially rooted within the sacred text, within Quran and Hadith. In that we can find this worldview. To analyze the problem deeply, we have many worldviews that are held by people in this world. We have materialistic worldviews, philosophical worldviews, humanistic worldviews, pragmatic worldviews, and so on and so forth. How do people come to build those worldviews? Through the teachings, through their education they go through, and then they have a worldview and they act and interact through that worldview. Unfortunately, we claim, and it is proved, we can prove it also, that within Quran and Hadith, we have the best account of the most comprehensive worldview, and which also contains the best way to interact, the best way to live, the best way to behave, and the best way to have those conducts and to reach the goal of our creation, why we are created, so that to reach that perfection. And if we want to say why we didn't, or why humanity is living those problems, they haven't reached that level of perfection. It is because of that worldview. Next, please. So the worldview that we suggest and that we find in our scripture, in Quran and Hadith, is Tawheed, or in different words, as Sufi teachers and masters call it, Wahdatul Wujud. Wahdatul Wujud. So we have heard about this concept in different contexts. We have read about it. We have heard criticism about it. Scholars have been harshly criticized about that. Why? I presume that because people don't understand the meaning of Wahdatul Wujud. So all religions, or the monotheistic religions or other religions also, call for Tawheed, to recognize one God, to recognize one master of the world, and to recognize one ruler of the world. So the recognition of this creator, ruler, master, preserver, also he who preserves the world, can be held through different ways. Through conceptual Tawheed, so we believe that there is one God, he has such and such names, characters, he behaves such and such. We believe in our minds, it's a conceptual belief. But is it sufficient to determine our behavior, to determine our actions? Not necessarily. Because this Tawheed should be present in our life, in our daily life. It should be living in our daily life, not only held in our minds as the presence of God, the sustainer of the world, the ruler of the world, and so forth. So here we are assuming that the Tawheed that can solve the humanity problem is the worldview where we can see that everything in this world is the presence of Allah. According to the kalimat of Tawheed, La ilaha illallah can be interpreted many ways. La ilaha illallah means there is no God but God. He is there, He rules the world, and we are here. We are His creatures. We interact, and we have a relation with Him. So through Sharia, through the scriptures, we take guidance from Him, and we are acting among us. So this is one interpretation of La ilaha illallah. So we can obey him, we cannot, so there can emerge many problems and issues because of this dualistic relation. So we are seeing him far or remote because we try to, in the tanzih, so to exaltation, to exalt him, so he is there, he is afar from the limited world, the material world, but he rules the world, but we are not seeing him as present with us. Because we venerate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we adore him, we pray to him, but do we think or do we believe that this table is his presence? Not necessarily. So the sacred, for example, how do we behave with the Quran? So we behave that it is the sacred word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we venerate it. But this table is not looked at like the Quran. But according to this view, to the Tawheed, in mysticism, in Tasawwuf, this table is the presence of Al-Haq subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Simply, Quran is Kalamullah. This table is what? The presence of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Khaliq, Al-Raziq, Al-Hayy, Al-Mumit, Al-Sami' Al-Basir, Al-Mutakallim. All these names are present in this world in everything. As we can read in the Quran, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ. So everything is doing tasbih. So if everything is doing tasbih, it means that everything is alive. Everything has knowledge. Everything is aware. Even though we call them inanimate things, inanimate creatures, but according to our Quran, they are not inanimate. They are alive. They do tasbih, and everything that is do tasbih is sacred also and should be regarded at him as a sacred presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the main issue, that how do we see the world? How is our worldview, and how do we interact with the things which are around us? So if we believe in this, and we can prove it, but time is not sufficient. So in Al-Quran there are many verses and many hadiths that indicate and that show that the whole world is one. The whole world is one. Because if we believe that there is Allah and there are things, it means Allah is bound by things. So there are things binding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is not present where things are, where the things stand. So Allah stands everywhere. And the verse shows that and proves that وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُحِيطٌ. So there is nothing that is empty from the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we see and if we adore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we see the presence of Allah as sacred, we should see Him present in everything, and we should think sacred as His presence. So the way we love Him, we should love everything that is around us, because it is His presence. We don't see them as things a part of us. We cannot see them as things remote of us and things they are other than us. You know how did this dualism emerge to the world, and how it is made known for the world? It is initiated initially by the well-known philosopher René Descartes, who started it by the famous cogito ergo sum. But through that, he wants to prove that there is a man, there is a human being which has a soul, which has an intellect, and who is superior to the things to the world. So he sees the world as an object, as a thing that he uses it to his own needs, to his own how he can manage it. He manages it the way he wants. So this is the initial issue that starts this problem of dualism. But in the Sufi perspective, in the Sufi worldview, it is not like that. So everything is the presence of the names of Allah, and all the names of Allah are sacred. So we should see that everything is sacred, and we behave according to that worldview. Please, next slide. So this is the problem, the anthropocentrism of modern thought, which is initiated, as I said, by Descartes, and then followed up by other philosophers, like what is now available in every school, which is empiricism, and which leads to many isms, materialism, and others. So they put that the human being is the center of the world. Human being is the center, and everything is to be used by this human being. So everything is to be exploited by the human being to his well-being. And here there is a problem that defining the well-being of the human being lies in what? Does it lie in what felicity that it comes from benefiting from these things, or in other things? So according to Al-Quran, it is not to the use of the objects. خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. It is not to be used as you want, but it should be used as Allah wants. It is not created for the sake of human being as such, but it is created for the human being to reach God, to reach Allah through this word. As in Hadith Qudsi says, خَلَقْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي وَخَلَقْتُ الْأَكْوَانَ لِأَجْلِكَ. خَلَقْتُكَ, for Adam, خَلَقْتُكَ لِأَجْلِي وَخَلَقْتُ الْأَكْوَانَ لِأَجْلِكَ. So you are the vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this world. And the vicegerent is to take care of all the world. So he is the presence of Allah in this world. How Allah cherishes the world, how Allah loves the world. خَلَقْتُ الْخَلْقَ فَأَحْبَبْتُ أَنْ أُعْرَفْ وَخَلَقْتُ الْخَلْقَ لِأُعْرَفْ. So the way that Allah loves the world, his vicegerent should also manifest this love on this world. So he should love everything on this world so that he can deserve the name of Khalifa, the name of vicegerent. If not, he doesn't deserve that. He is not a vicegerent, but he can fall to the asfala safilin, but not fi ahsani taqweem. So it is conditioned. Human being is not absolutely a vicegerent. Only those who reflect the characters on the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserve to be vicegerent. And who are they? They are the ones who are called abd, ibadullah, ibadur rahman. So who is the abd? Abd is the one who doesn't claim that he owns anything. He owns nothing. He can do nothing. He is totally related to his God. So everything that he has, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the second problem, which is the anthropocentrism. 2 minutes, so I cannot finish 20 slides. Yes, please, next one. So God-centered view and the concept of Tawheed, it's almost the same. Please, the next one. So here comparing the two worldviews, God-centered and human-centered. Next, please. Next. Yeah. The significance of Tawheed in environmental ethics. As I told before that if we have this worldview and this kind of Tawheed, this Tawheed is not just believing in a concept in our minds, but living as a part of the world, but living as a unit of the world. This world is us. So we should extend our existence. Look, the human being has has many dimensions. He can live as an individual, as a person, very limited. He can see himself, and this where egoism arises, so it is an egoist person. Or he can extend his life, extend himself to encompass all the world. So he sees, or he believes, or he lives within the world as himself. So he will be all the world, not as a small body and a small individual. So if he extends himself and see himself as a part of the whole, that is the real Tawheed. And that is what is called Wahdatul Wujud. So Wahdatul Wujud is not believing that God everything is everything. It's not that. Not that God everything. God is present with everything. The presence of God encompasses everything. But individually, things are His creatures, and they are limited. They are not God. It's not like, for example, animism or other doctrines that, for example, believe in hulul or ittihad. So not. Wahdat al-wujud is different. So it is the absolute that is not bound by anything, that is present within everything, and should be revered and adored in everything. Because we adore His names, and His names are present in everything. So this will... the implication is that we will see everything as the presence of God, and thus we will interact in a different way, and we are caring about everything, and that we revere everything. Is next slide. Next, please. Yeah, harmony and order in the world. Yeah, this is very important. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created all the world in harmony. The presence of the names are in harmony. We are also created and guided through scriptures, through Sharia, through religion. So we are guided to preserve this harmony. So that guidance, that religion is a way of life, so that we preserve this harmony. If we behave differently, if we behave in a selfish way, if we behave in an egoistic way, we will cause this harmony to be harmed and to be in disorder. And the disorder that we are experiencing nowadays, and we are living nowadays, is not caused by nature. It is caused by human being, because he is the vicegerent, he is the Khalifa, he is supposed to preserve this nature. But if he doesn't play his role as this vicegerent, everything will come back to him. So any harm that he causes, he will suffer from it. So it will be returned to him. In ahsantum li anfusikum wa in asa'tum falaha. So anything that is done in any part of the world will impact every part of the world. So this is the harmony and the way the world is created. So if something happens in the far Americas, it will affect us here in Jakarta. So a leaf of the tree, it falls in the ground, it will affect all the ecological system. So if the human being is aware of this, he will be thinking twice before acting, before doing things, or before harming anything in the world. Thank you. Sorry for taking too much time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, thank you very much to Dr. Abdulaziz Abbasi. It's also very good to see the word differently from the point of view of mysticisms. My friends, now we are moving to the last two speakers before we move to the next session. Actually, our next speakers coming from Malaysia, starting from USA and then move to Jakarta in Indonesia and then move to Malaysia now. They will be presenting online. First, I would like to invite both Prof. Osman Abu Bakar and Prof. Abdul Aziz Berhout. Your floor is maximum 15 minutes for your presentation. Also can need manage also on time. To first, Professor Usman Bakar. He is the chair of Epistemology and Civilizational Studies from IUM, and also Prof. Abdul Aziz Berhout, the Dean of International Institute of Islamic Thought and Civilization, IUM. Floor is yours. Could you also hear my voice? Yeah. Prof. Osman Bakar, are you there?
Yes, thank you, moderator.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wa mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Thank you very much to Masjid Istiqlal for inviting me to share my thought at this very important conference. And congratulations to Masjid Istiqlal for organizing this very important conference. Given now the time that I need to present is 5 minutes shorter than earlier announced in the invitation to me, so I had to make sure that I will speak in times. I think now according to my watch, it's 10 minutes to 2. So inshallah, I will try to do that. I just want to say that thank you very much, especially to Professor Andy for your excellent summary of the ecological situation, the ecological dilemma that we are facing. And also the second part of your presentation, basically, as I see it, it is about your Sharia-based approach to solving the contemporary problems. I will adopt a different approach, notwithstanding the relevance of Professor Andy's presentation. Right. So what I would like to, basically my approach is philosophical in nature. The focus of my presentation is the present ecological consciousness and the relevance, or rather the fact that religion and science are closely associated with this present consciousness, the need for us to enhance this consciousness and to further enlighten the consciousness, and so that we can offer better solutions to contemporary ecological problems. Let me share my slides with you on the screen. Let me go straight. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next, I just keep the abstract. Yeah. Next slide, please. No, this is the one before that. Rising global. The slide is rising global ecological consciousness. Go back, please. One more, go back. The previous. All right, thank you. Yes. So I would like to speak about this. Oh no, please. Can you go back? Hello? No, the first slide, please go forward. The third slide, please. One more. I think, yes, just stay there, please. Yes. Yeah, I want to speak about the rising global ecological consciousness. Now, quite clearly, we can observe this if we have been also monitoring this consciousness. We can definitely say that, say, 50 years ago, the consciousness was much less about the ecology, and 100 years ago, even less. All right, so I think especially after the 1960s, we see this rising global consciousness. Now, let me explain what I mean by this ecological consciousness. Basically, I divide them into three dimensions. The first dimension is biophysical. Of course, the awareness of the biophysical dimension of the world of nature has been there. But I want to emphasize that many decades ago, for example, before the 1950s, the world of nature was looked at only as some kind of just purely physical world. Even the word bio, which means life, but that life is understood to be emanating from, to have originated from physical. In other words, reality is simply physical, material. All right, but after the 1960s, with a new, basically resurgence in the study of ecology, then there's a greater appreciation of the idea of, basic idea of ecology, which that all organisms are interrelated, interdependent, and they are united to see, in other words, to see the world of nature in a larger and broader perspective, something not fragmented fragmented into different components, somehow no inner link. All right. So certainly, those who study this will know that there is a development in this consciousness regarding the biophysical dimension. And then, of course, what is important is that the emergence of the new emphasis of the dimension is spiritual. In other words, nature, the world of nature, is not purely physical, but has a spiritual message for humanity. So there's more interest in studying the spiritual aspects of the natural phenomena and so on. I'm talking here really about what's going on in the West, really. Basically, it's a Western narrative, not so much. But it is part of us because we follow what is going on in the West. So we are part of it. And of course, there's also the new consciousness regarding the ethical dimension. The ethical dimension when, for example, environmental ethics becomes a more popular subject. All right. Now, what are the contributing factors to this rising consciousness? I would say religion and science. So the contributing factors come from religion and from science. As far as from religion, I'm referring here to religion as a source of emerging ideas and perspective on natural ecology. Why I use the word natural ecology? Because now there is also the human ecology, which is distinct from the natural ecology. So now there is the proposal, and I certainly have been talking about it. In other words, now we can speak of integral ecology comprising natural ecology, ecology of the basically the biophysical ecology, and the human ecology. And the two branches of ecology cannot be separated because the human being has impact on natural ecology. So when I say religion is a source of emerging ideas, I'm referring more to kind of the emerging natural theology. The field of study called natural theology, which was something of more recent in the Western world, okay? But not in Islamic civilization. In civilization, natural theology has been going on for a long time. But thanks to this new interest in natural theology, that contributes to the new vision of nature. In other words, there is basically it's going to kind of God-centric vision of nature, that God is not absent from nature. God guides nature. So that new vision in which the divine is incorporated, it's no longer purely the physical. And then, of course, the emerging environmental ethics. So the emerging environmental ethics regarding the appropriate use of nature. So subject like bioethics and other things becomes popular in the last several decades. Now it has become a full-fledged discipline. But it's all concerned about the appropriate use of nature, how to use nature wisely, and that is befitting for humankind. Now, as far as science, it is a source, so the science contributes the emerging consciousness as a source of emerging ecological studies. So ecological studies have become more and more important. And what is important to note here is that we may observe, we can see convergence of natural theology and ecology. So natural theology and ecology interact, have overlapping concerns, and this is what I call in Islamic thought, in my words, I refer to this as the Tawhidi paradigm. What I mean by this Tawhidi paradigm, the ideas of interrelatedness, interdependence, and unity governing the natural world. All right, so next, please, next slide. Hello, next slide, please. Yes. Man, the ecological disruption. Yeah. Now, the background of this rising consciousness is certainly what has been going on since the Industrial Revolution in the West. All right. So this has been referred a lot by Professor Andy in his presentation regarding what has been going on. Yeah. So I don't have to go there, but just emphasize that serves as a very good background for my presentation. So basically, I'm referring here to the what I call ecological destruction and man, because I think the man plays a very important role here. So I refer here to the deteriorating state of health of our planet Earth, which Professor Andy has provided the details. But I want to emphasize here, man is the culprit. In what way? Man has corrupted nature as a sacred book. It's a long history. How what we call desacralization of nature. Well, my time just taken just now. I mean, I have only two slides. Yeah? I have only 2 slides. And secondly, because of the corruption of the book of nature, man has cut off his spiritual relationship with nature. And then number 3, as a result of that also partly man has transgressed against nature, mainly dictated by greed and overconsumption. And then number 2, basically, is man's sustainable lifestyle. If you are looking for the cause, I think this one, man's sustainable lifestyle. Disturbing the balance. Man's lifestyle, modern man's lifestyle, disturbs the balance of the natural ecological order and the human social order. And of course, not without consequences. We are facing the consequences. Then number 2, the man's lifestyle posing a great challenge to integral ecology and integral sustainability. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. I just sorry. Okay, because of time. All right. First one, I want to see regarding the ecological restoration. In other words, we have to entertain this idea of ecological restoration. Now, is ecological restoration possible? The answer is yes. There are arguments in support of that: cosmological argument, moral argument, and empirical argument. As for the cosmological argument, the power of the restoration is inherent in nature. The role of ecological balance. In other words, nature has been created in a state of balance. That mizan, that balance. So if somehow that balance is disturbed, it is the power inherent in nature to restore that balance. So in other words, nature can help human beings to restore the ecological balance. As for the moral argument, through moral rectification, there is restoration of the wasatiyah way of life. It is possible to restore man's balanced relationship with nature. Right now, it is not balanced. Yeah? We need to restore the balance of man's relationship with nature. As for the empirical argument, an increasing number of ecosystem restoration projects are going on in the world. The largest is the Florida Everglades. So many countries now undertaking ecosystem restoration projects. Okay, and then my last slide, the solutions to contemporary ecological problems. I divided into two parts. First, the role of religion. So what is the role of religion? How can religion help us? There are two ways here, the role of religion. First, enhancement of spiritual appreciation of nature. This is important. Nature is not only to be appreciated for economic reason, for physical reason, but also for spiritual and moral reasons. And the second role of religion is it can, through the Sharia, for example, through the divine law, religion can restore the values of middleness and the golden mean